Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What is up, my party people? Happy Thursday to you. Thursdays on the channel during the off season means Q&A. We haven't done Q&A in quite a while. There was that month of May where your boy was like hitting every high school in the state, it felt like. In like 17 days, we did that. We did a couple MBRs mixed in through there, and now we're back for some Q&A. So tonight is your night. Tonight is your show. I know there's a lot going on. I know there's an NBA Finals going on tonight. All that good stuff. Appreciate you for being here with us live on the programming. If you're in the chat, we appreciate you for being here. Put out some tweeters. Put out some tweets today about taking some Q&A tonight. We're going to start the chat, or start the show with that, rather. I also want to start the show by telling you that this is the second episode of the night here on the channel. You also got a mic'd up version of my day. Basically, what I do on the weekends when I'm not in front of a camera, when I'm not in front of a laptop writing, I am on a football field evaluating, learning, talking, networking, doing everything that's possible around this sport. So, yeah, shout out to Cam Newton and the 7-on-7 Memorial event. If you haven't watched that, please watch that now. I like that content. I would enjoy doing that more and more. But I only do the stuff that y'all like. And if y'all don't show up for it, we move on. We try stuff and we keep going and we keep trying to grow. And that's one of those examples. So other than that, I wanted to talk about this SEC scheduling stuff because it seems like everyone's still up in arms. Announced today that they are going to be moving to an 8-game schedule. Okay, it sounds like it's going to be one permanent, rivalry and then 7 rotating games. You're going to remove divisions as well in 2024. I told you the other night that it was pretty obvious, in my opinion, that you are going to go to a no divisions model. I thought it was very obvious that with college football playoff expanding, they wanted to be as versatile as possible. They wanted to provide as much complexity as possible and as much options as possible, while also making sure that the schedule rotates in and out properly. I think you will hear over and over again Greg Sankey use the word fairness about competition in all of his quotes that he came up with. He did say today that they understand that there are important matchups, but other than the obvious rivalries such as Alabama and Auburn, Georgia and Florida, Mississippi State and Ole Miss, all of the other games won't be preserved. Okay, none of the long-standing rivalries will be preserved, unless they've been long-standing rivalries, right? And the important ones is basically what they said. So they have decided that Florida is your important rivalry. You'll be playing them every year. All the other 7 games of your conference schedule will rotate. Now, when people hear that, the first thing they will think about is, oh my God, we lost the Auburn game. And I had an opinion the other night that it's, hey man, history tells us when change happens. Like when teams get added to the conference changes. It's been 3 iterations now of this conference and its members. It started at 10, went to 12, 4 iterations. Started at 10, went to 12, went to 14, and now it's going to 16. So there have been 4 iterations of this conference, and every single time it happens, something changes. You have to give when you take. All right, you're taking Oklahoma and you're taking Texas, and now you will get to enjoy that on a semi-annual or semi-rotational basis as a Georgia fan. It has cost you going to Auburn every other year, and it has cost you playing the Tigers every single season. Now, as much as you guys were up in arms about that game moving from November to middle of the season and the beginning of the year, I can't imagine how angry people are about this, because what I failed to realize when I gave my opinion the other night is that it's not just mine. You guys share this stuff, and from a different angle. You're a fan. You're fanatical about these opinions. These matter to you, and they're rooted in memory, okay? Meaning like you had memorable moments during these football games. It's why they mean something to you. I had someone explain it to me the other day. My dad is what he said. My dad was a Georgia fan during the Pat Dye era, Brooks. So, yeah, he hates Auburn. Yeah, he enjoys beating the piss out of Auburn every single year right now. How dare them take that from him? Like, that was kind of the vibe. That was kind of the feeling. But, man, you're going to get, a rotating schedule here. And who's to say you might not find a new hatred, right? I said the other night, this is not the college football that we all fell in love with. It is the college football we're having to find new about and love more and more every single day. I just thought about this. It's a lot like when your wife's pregnant. It's a lot like when you have kids. It's a lot like when your relationship continues to grow, right? When people change, because the person I married or the person I met when I was in college is certainly not the woman that I stand by every single day today. But by God, I still love her. I love her more today than I did, right? That's what a relationship is. So pour back into college football and try to love it. Don't just sit here and buck it. Don't just sit here and say you hate it because you liked the Auburn game. You might hate Steve Sarkisian. You just don't know it. You might really, really hate Jimbo Fisher. You might really enjoy the trip out to Kyle Field. You don't know these things because you don't know. You don't know what you don't know, but you are definitely comfortable and happy with what you do. And what you certainly know is Auburn. And right now, you know beating the hell out of Auburn every single year. And in 2024, you're guaranteed to get that. After that, you are not. That is what it sounds like. You're guaranteed to get to play Florida every single season. I think for Georgia fans, this isn't necessarily like bad news today. You guys get premier matchups perennially because your coach values non-conference opponents. I think that was another clause in today's contract or today's announcement. Basically, every single SEC team has to play at least one out-of-conference game against a Power 5 football team. So you'll have 4 out-of-conference games. At least one of those will have to be a Power 5. Guess what, Georgia fans? You're already checking that box. You play Georgia Tech every year. So you're good. Your criteria is met. All right. But no, this doesn't suck for a Georgia fan. Who this sucks for is South Carolina. Okay. The smaller schools in this conference that didn't really have rivals inside the conference, like South Carolina, because they haven't been here since the 80s. They got here in 1992. They got to play Kentucky every year as if that game means something to either of those fan bases. And they got to pretend that that's a rivalry. At least you get Florida, right? I don't know who it's not Tennessee and Alabama. I don't know who the crossover matchup, permanent matchup is for Tennessee. I should probably know that before I come out here. But they had the Alabama-Tennessee game that was guaranteed. It's not going to be guaranteed because Alabama and Auburn's guaranteed now. So that rivalry and perennial matchup, first Saturday in October, I think is what that one's called. That one's gone, okay, based off what we found out today. So there are some things dying today, but there's definitely some new. Appreciate you guys being in tonight. We're going to close that laptop and start firing. Actually, we're not going to close the laptop. We're going to get to these Twitter questions before we fire off the chat. Appreciate you guys being here. You know the Q&A rules, okay? Please leave an actual question mark on your question. There's a lot of chat going up in here, and it gets kind of hectic. The other thing, super subs go first. You know the deal. Let's get after it. All right, let's tackle Twitter first. I like this one. My boy Kane Johnson said on Twitter, every time I touch a football, I practice pretend RPOs. Is this normal behavior? What my man's talking about is giving one of those. It's 100% normal behavior. And matter of fact, like, I don't even do it with a ball. I think someone commented on your Twitter today, I don't even have to have a ball in my hand. I'm just putting it in the belly of the back. You know what I mean? Put it in the belly of the back. It just feels good. It feels right. All right, in the 90s, when folks was out here messing around, early 2000s, folks out here messing around being quarterback, what they do? They go down to the hut, and then they show the ball, right? They show the ball, they pull it back, and they're like, I'm a Q. Yeah, no, you're normal, Kane. In fact, I would say you're abnormal if you don't practice RPOs in the house. If you're not Euro stepping your wife when you walk to the fridge to get some water, if you're not giving her a little, you're not an athlete, bro. You're not an athlete. We're not friends. I'm just kidding. We might be. We're not going to read your first name. At something Stetson Bennett, your boy's boy is his Twitter name. Man, I already know what you look like based off your Twitter profile. I know exactly, and it's a ghost profile, but I know who you are. Name's probably Tyler. How do you maintain alpha status at all times? ? It's impressive. I don't know if he's talking about me, but I think he's talking about Georgia football, and it's all the cliche coaching stuff that Kirby gets after all the time. I'm turning into this the more and more I do these like guest hits where young people ask me how I do what I do, and I explain to them that I just work. And it's just like we just work hard. We just work. That's it. There's nothing but the work. I think that's how he does it. He just pounds that mentality into kids until they understand it. Better yet, he recruits kids that understand that mentality, right? Those types of machines, if you will. I said this about a recruit the other day. I think Georgia has a unique skill set on the recruiting trail in the form of Kirby Smart, because not only is he a great closer, but he has the ability to make like-minded people like him, right? The ones that are required to be great, the ones that are like obsessive about their traits and obsessive about perfection and things like that. He has an innate ability to make like-minded people that are like that immediately attracted to him. Like they are in dire need of being around him. That's why his coaching staff is the way it is. It's why guys will flock to him continually as long as he coaches from a coaching standpoint, because they want to be around the juice. They want to be around whatever it is that makes him great. So how do you ensure that no one gets complacent? Well, it starts from the top. There's no complacency at the top. In fact, I think he might be working harder than he ever has before, because he is a psycho. He is 100% a psycho. Let's see here. What's the floor of UGA's 2024 recruiting class in terms of rank? Asked my boy, Dogstradamus. Funny thing is, right before I submitted a new breaking news here on the channel, right before I submitted a sliding scale majiggy, okay, in favor of the University of Georgia for one of the best players in the 2025 class, maybe the best player in the 2025 class. If you don't know what I'm talking about, patreon.com/Brooks Austin, links in the bio. I was over there talking about that, right? And I was texting some sources about this guy that I was submitting a sliding scale majiggy in for. And one of my sources was like, our floor this year, our floor is going to be like number 2, number 3 class. Our ceiling, depending on how it shakes out, will be the greatest recruiting class in the history of recruiting classes. And in 2025, quote, it's going to be better. So they think the 24 class is like A-, A-flat in-state. They think the in-state class in 25 and 26 is just silly, just absolutely goofy. And there's a lot of swamp monsters down there in the southeast realm of Georgia. Okay, next year our spring map is going to look totally different. We're gonna be over there on that East Coast. What's that? The Atlantic. We're gonna be over there in that thing. All right. So shouts out. We're gonna take one more question over here on Twitter. I'm gonna shout out my man Chad Okinaka. My man Chad is out in Hawaii. Now, I don't know if he's listening to us today, but Chad found me on 680. Okay. I don't know if y'all remember, I was doing some stuff for 680 a while back. I don't know what happened. Where you at, 680? Why y'all stop calling? Did I do too good of a job? Sometimes that happens. Chad found me because I was on 680, and Chad listens to 680 religiously out there in Hawaii. So aloha, my brother. He asked, how is UGA going to keep fans off the field? I say put barbed wire in the hedges. I don't know if you guys have this much of a problem. I know it's happened a couple of times. I think the last time it happened, someone reminded me, I think it was like 2018, 2019, last time fans stormed Sanford Stadium. I don't know. You tell me. It's actually duly filled now. But here's one thing I know about Georgia fans. First of all, it's really hard to get over that wall and get past those hedges. I don't think, I know that's why they were put in, right? So you didn't do that. You already have kind of a precautionary measure. But I also know that Georgia fans, like, the moment you walk into that stadium when you're a child or whenever your first football game is, there is an inherent respect for those bushes. Like, you guys love those things. Now, there are some of you who don't understand what they are, and you pull, pieces of the, shrubs from it or the hedges on your way out. Shame on you. But the rest of you that wear that red and black that I've met on Saturdays, you have an inherent responsibility to protect those things. You love those things as much as you do, like, say, Ugga. Now, I know it's an actual plant, not a dog, but y'all care about them hedges. So I don't think Georgia fans got any of these problems. All right, let's start firing off the YouTube chat right here. Is there any more good news for Georgia on the Malachi Tolliver recruitment? So Tolliver's a commit, and I don't think he's going anywhere. So yeah, I think that's about as good news as you can possibly have. Now, here's the thing about Malachi. We're going to unleash our Brooks's big board. We're working through them right now. We're going to kind of maybe take a week right before the season, and we might rip all those off. We also got some other things going on that we're kind of waiting on before we release really, really great content, because we got really, really great things coming down the pike. But hey, which we learned coming down the pike, right? Not coming down the pipe. The other night, callback. Wow, too much coffee, ADD boy. Malachi Tolliver is going to be a really, really good football player. He might be the 3rd, 4th, or 5th best offensive lineman you sign this class, though. I'll tell you that. Or am I thinking of Daniel Calhoun? You probably were. I probably should have read that one first. Are our nuggets going to be smothered in hot sauce? Marion, I know you're a Patreon subscriber. Yes, they always are. I'm a Tapatio guy lately, but hot sauce is weird because it kind of goes in phases with my palate. Like, when Tapatio, when I first found it, I don't know, I'd say about a year ago, it was like Tapatio on everything. I cannot have enough Tapatio on popcorn, eggs, fries, chicken, whatever. Tacos, Tapatio dude. Now my palate's like, Tapatio out. Got to have something else. So if you got any more suggestions on the hot sauce, please do. What is this offer to join for 99 cents? That's to send emojis in the chat. If you want to do it, feel free to do so. It's a revenue stream play. I'm not bashful about this, guys. We got to pay bills. All right. We got to pay bills. And the only way to do that is some things cost. So if you want to fire off some film guy emojis, it'll cost you 99 cents a month. That's it. Okay. And there will be about 7 of you guys that do that. And you'll pay my Hulu subscription. So I appreciate you. Let's see here. Nyland Green or Dalen Everett, who's your pick, and how do you think they can be better than Keeley for this defense? So first of all, I think both of those football players, Nyland and Dalen, are more natural, true, like man-to-man cover guys, okay? Maybe not Nyland, definitely Dalen. Okay, Nyland is a ball in the air, play it guy. I've always thought he should be a safety, but for different reasons than Keeley. People said Keeley should be a safety because he's stiff. I'm here to tell you, guess what? Fuck, safety's got to move too. You know what I mean? Safety's got to move all over the field too. So if you think someone's stiff and can't go this way, well, safeties do nothing but go this way and that way. So never got that one. In terms of Nyland's reasoning for being a true safety, in my opinion, is his ball hawking ability. Guy plays center field safety as well as like a KJ Bolden does. The reason KJ Bolden is all the track stuff. Okay, but watching him play safety is why he's a 5-star. You watch that guy play any 7-on-7 event, there's not a ball in the field he can't get to because he just tracks it. As soon as it's in the air, he knows angles. He's fast as hell. He gets there. Nyland was the same way for me, just never got to safety. So I think from a man-to-man coverage standpoint, Dalen is a little bit more favorable than like a Keeley. And as far as Nyland goes, Nyland will find the football. Keeley still to this day has problems finding it. Although, you know, every once in a while he will, like the Tennessee clip, right? He found that football. But there's like 5 clips of him, you know, kind of getting over against like Florida and other programs like that. So, yeah, just to answer your question there, I think one guy's a better true man-to-man cover. He's got better movement skills, but not overall top-end speed in Dalen. And I think Nyland's a better find the football, disrupt it, dislodge it, that kind of good stuff. Okay. Brooks, what are some realistic expectations for Carson Beck this season, in your opinion? I have no problems telling you I think Carson Beck was going to throw for 4,000 yards this season. None. And people will hear that and they'll be like, oh, my God. Yeah, nah. I think this year Georgia is going to – I think Georgia's got a chance to lead the nation in third down percentage this year. I think their ability to convert third downs this year will be unprecedented, because he is such a good processor and they will be in such good positions down in and down out when it comes to third and medium. That's what they will live in. Georgia will live in 3rd and 4 this year, and Carson Beck will eat it alive, okay? Because I think he was, 27 for 31 in the spring game. That's who he is, man. If there's like one sliver of opening, one obvious answer, he's taking it. He is not a guy that's going to just be out here looking for the big play every single time. So, yeah, I think Carson Beck's ability to process information, throw the ball accurately, and play on time and within an offense, there's no reason he shouldn't throw for 4,000 yards this year when you combine the fact that he's got elite weapons now, all right? Not just Brock Bowers. It's Lovett. It's Ra Thomas. Okay, it's Ladd McConkey. It's all the guys, right? It's all those guys. So Arian Smith, I mean, I think in years past, we have done this. We have talked about how great the receiving core is. But, guys, let's be honest. The last couple of years, it's been A.D. Mitchell and Ladd McConkey. Okay? Arian Smith's been a we don't know kind of guy. We don't know if he's going to play. We don't know if he's going to be healthy, right? A.D. was hurt half the year last year. You were literally going through stretches of the season last year where Ladd McConkey was your primary weapon. That's it. Okay? That ain't going to be the case this year. He might be 2, maybe 3 on that list. Let's see here. All right, here we got Jay Griff just ripping it off. Okay, who's a my guy that you think can't miss? Question number 1. So for those of you who don't know, we'll address this. My guy that can't miss in 2024. Okay, Let's look up the player rankings. We've really dived into the offensive evaluations lately. I think my guy Eddie Pierre from Florida, that dude's going to be a 3-year starter in the SEC at offensive guard. Eddie Pierre Lewis is his name. I think he's from Tampa, somewhere down there. That dude's going to be bona fide. But if I'm going to give you like names that everybody knows, Jeremiah Smith will not miss. I don't care. This is one of the actual true examples of you could go play for Tittawatta Tech and they'd still find you, Jeremiah. You can tell that to Jeremiah. Jeremiah is 6'3". He looks like a daggum avatar. There's not a ball he can't catch. Okay. Natural hands. I called him Chingy the other day. Y'all remember the rapper Chingy? He's got a lyric, and I think it's I don't know what song it is, but he has a lyric in there that basically says, hey, does the shake come with them fries? All right. I'm telling you right now, I applied this to the football world as saying, like, does the shake, like, do you have twitch? Can you move as a receiver? Does the shake come with them fries? All right. You really, really stretched out. You're really, really long, but can you shake like you're supposed to? Can you shake like a 5'9" guy? Does the shake come with them fries? That boy got all the shake in the world, and he's 6'3". All right, so when you got that kind of stuff, you're not going to miss. There's no doubt about it. I don't like I said, Tittawatta Tech, that boy could go anywhere. The NFL going to find him. He's going to be in the NFL real quick. So that's a can't miss guy. I think Ellis Robinson is a can't miss guy, the corner, the committed to University of Georgia. Georgia thinks he's the best corner, hands down, in the class. They don't think it's quite really close. Let's see here. Who else is a can't miss guy? Dylan Stewart won't miss. That guy's going to be eight and a half sacks by the time he's, a sophomore in college football. Let's see here. That's kind of it that I see in these quote-unquote 5-star rankings, okay, over on 24/7's composite. So that was question 2. Where did question 3 go? I don't even know. We're like so far behind here. Okay, here we go. I think that was actually question 2. Should be concerned about the running backs. No, you have Dale McGee. You're already out. Okay, you're already okay, I should say. And man, if you don't have one of the best offensive lines in the country this year, if not the best offensive lines in the country. Question 3, what's your calf workout? Most important question. Dude, I walked into the public pool over here at the neighborhood the other day. I opened the door, and as soon as I opened the door in the bathroom, Buddy's washing his hands, and he goes, oh my God, what's your calf workout? Weirdest I've ever had it approached. Second weirdest I've ever had it approached right here in the YouTube comments. I don't have one. I will tell you this. When I was a kid, I was real short, or not real short. I was big. I was always big, chubby kid, right? You can still see it in my face. You can still see it in my chin neck. All right. I was always a chubby kid, and I always played offensive line or always played first and third, right? And people would always tell me, hey, you're quicker than you are fast, which is what people tell fat kids that get outran in all their little running drills, right? We're going to keep running until Brooks finishes first kind of deal all the time. So what coaches would tell me is, son, you don't have any foot speed. You need to jump rope. You need to jump rope. You need to jump rope, or you need to run ladders, right? So the only thing I can really attribute it to is I jumped a lot of rope when I was a kid. That's all I got. Other than that, people tell me it's genetics, but no one else in my family has these things. Yeah. They're enough for random people on YouTube. Not random people, Jay Griff, you get what I'm saying, but they're enough for random people to be like, whoa, dude, what's going on there? I don't know. I also know that it's probably because I've been fat my whole life. It's probably because I've been fat my whole life. And when that's the case, every once in a while you end up with some loaded calves. How can we watch the Elite 11 finals? So, JT, it's a great question. You probably won't be able to. In terms of like a streaming product, they don't really have those, but we will have you covered with everything we can. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring 2 people out there, and I'm not going to tell you my whole plan right now, because I know the ops is watching. I know y'all are here. Hello. I know. Hit that like button while you're there, dog. I'm not going to tell you my whole plan, but we plan to get as much video and as much content to you as possible. Okay. We work our butt off when we go out there. I had a competitor today. He's not even a competitor. He's my boy. My boy Jeffrey Sintel hit me up today, and he was like, hey, are you going to the OT7 and the Elite 11 finals? And I said, do you know who you sent that text message to, my boy? Yes, we are. We're going to be at the OT7 finals, which is the biggest 7-on-7 event in the world. We'll be at the OT7 finals from like 9 a.m., 8 a.m., whenever they kick that sucker off, to like 4:30 Okay, we're going to hop in the rental car that we got. Shouts out to the Tahoe. Okay, shouts out Alamo. Shouts out LAX. All right, we're going to hop in the rental car. We're going to drive right over to the Elite 11. We're going to be at the Elite 11 from 6 to 9. So, yes, we're going to be all over the Elite 11 finals, and we're going to have some content for your butt as well. Alec Brooks always kind of thought that he could have a Joe Burrow type season. Would you agree with that? Talking about Carson Beck, I would presume. I don't do the Joe Burrow stuff. That's 5,400 yards. That's like stupid. I think it's goofy when people do that. I think it's goofy when people come out here just for that. I was telling my wife this the other day. Maybe I should turn into one of these. Maybe I should turn into someone who goes on Twitter and says, I think Joe Milton's going to throw for 5,500 yards and 77 touchdowns this year. At me if you disagree. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should call fans stupid. Maybe I should do that. I don't like doing that. I don't like going into a season and go, yeah, 5,200 yards. That's possible. It's possible. It's not going to happen. And if it happens, you can't sit here and you say you knew it was going to happen. You're full of shit. No one knew that. Right? That's my kind of thing. I don't like to do the closest thing I've ever done to that is last year or 2 years ago. I think it was George Pickens' final year. I basically said, I think George Pickens and Jermaine Burton are going to go for 1,000 yards apiece. Sure shit, both of them get hurt that spring. So there you go. Shouts out Stetson Ledford. Make sure you hit that like button. Marion talking about ripping his Achilles. My boy, I'm going to tell you right now, I told my wife the other day, you going to find me one day on the basketball court or on the football field, and I'm going to call you. I'm going to say, honey, we done did it. We done blowed out the Achilles because it's coming. It's coming down the pike. And you know what? That's all right. We're going to be in a boot for 8 months, however long it takes. Make sure y'all are firing off them questions, man. It looks like I'm already caught up almost. So make sure you're going ahead and hitting those. We're only 30 minutes in now. We can't be out here lackadaisical and whatnot. Let's see here. What the slide scale Majiggy prediction for Georgia football to win 4 straight national championships? I think I commented on this one earlier. I think it's like 59.69%. That's what I would give it at. Yeah, I did see this. I did see this comment from Aaron Campbell. The Vols did get Vandy as the permanent matchup, which it's basically like Georgia playing Georgia Tech every year. So good for them. They get an easy cakewalk right there. After the top 3 QBs, who are some QB dudes to look out for in this 2024 class? Let me look up the finals roster, and I'll tell you some guys that I'm really, really excited to watch. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting subscribe. Make sure you're doing all that stuff. I do want to redirect now that we have some actual audience members here. If you didn't watch the Cam Newton video, the mic'd up segment that we did, please go watch that. At least hit the like button and leave a comment for me. And if you want anything like that, if you want to continue to see content like that, tell me where you want me to go next or what you want me to do next. It's kind of expensive to do that, but I really enjoyed it. And if you guys enjoy the content and show up in droves, we'll continue to do it. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm excited to see DJ Lagway, the kid out of Texas that's committed to Florida. I know you guys don't like hearing that, but that's a big physical kid. I've already seen Jaden Davis. I want to see if it changes. I didn't necessarily love the motion that I saw in Carrollton the other day, which is fine. I think the one thing I've heard about Jaden is that he is an overtrainer. So if there's any issues, he's going to get it fixed. Eventually, he will get it fixed. So it's not like he doesn't work. So I'm interested to see if there's been even improvement since we saw him in Carrollton. Aaron Nolan, always excited to see him, the Ohio State commit out of Langston Hughes here in the state of Georgia. I tried to sell Georgia to him since he was about 15 years old. And it's kind of what I was talking about in that Cam Newton video we did. Lefties are really, really hard to sell to some programs. Some programs just don't want them. Some programs don't like to recruit them. Some programs don't want to deal with the hassle of flipping their entire offense because they have to flip their entire offense. At a place like Ohio State, you don't. At a place like Ohio State, you're 3-by-1 anyways. You're 2-by-2 anyways. You're face up, chest to the defense at all times out of shotgun and air raid. So it's just as the difference is your quarterback looks left naturally as opposed to looking right naturally. That's the only difference. Whereas at a school like Georgia, where you're like super boot heavy action, under center sometimes, even when you're in shotgun, you're putting the belly in the back, you're turning your back to your defense. Well, now we're flipping entire offenses. Okay, now we're changing the entire thing left and right. So Aaron Nolan, I would have taken him. I think he is the best quarterback in the state of Georgia here in 2024. but you got two really, really great ones. Anyway, so Georgia wasn't probably going to be in that running anyways because of the guys that they were after from the jump. And they were after from the Dylan Raiola and Ryan Puglisi from, let's say, July of last year. They knew that they were going to take both of those guys. Maybe it was 2 summers ago. I know there was a summer when Puglisi came down and did the Southeastern Conference tour. He went to basically like every SEC big boy school and threw for them and left every building with an offer. From the moment that happened, Puglisi was a take. He was a green light. We will take this commitment whenever it happens. And of course it happened. So obviously super excited to see those two guys. Colin Hurley's an interesting one for me, the kid from Trinity Christian down in Florida. You know, he was a 2025 quarterback reclass. So to watch him step into a bigger classification or an older classification is going to be interesting as well. Those are kind of some guys that I'm always, I like prefacing going in, looking forward to seeing. That event, however, is always about finding finding something different about somebody I didn't know. I know the Isaac Wilson kid, Zach Wilson's little brother that just committed to Utah. I know that boy can spin it. So I'm excited to see him. But I'm most excited to see Puglisi and Raiola. I've seen Raiola throw it a little bit. It does come out like that. And I have seen I'm excited to see Puglisi throw because I've heard it's like that too. I've heard Brian Puglisi throw is like, or watching him throw is like watching one of the ones. You know what I mean? So excited to see those guys for sure. Let's see here. Is Kendall Milton going 7 yards per carry this season? I would say no, because he's going to get more carries, right? I'm not saying he's going to be a worse player this year, so don't do that. I'm just saying when you get more opportunities, your yards per carry probably going to drop. I don't think it's realistic to think he's going to get 100 plus carries, maybe 150 plus carries, right? 10, 12, 15 carries a game, an average 7 yards per carry. If he did, he's winning a Heisman this fall. So maybe that's the answer. But I don't think so. I think this is a year where Kendall kind of gets not majority, but gets a lion's share of the reps. And when you do that, your run percentages just drop. They just do, right? Because you're going to have a lot more 2-yard gains than you do 30-yard rippers in the fourth quarter against Arkansas or Auburn or whoever. Okay. But he is great at that, man. Kendall, for such a big back, has a lot of, I remember him in my head. Auburn, he had one. I think he had one against Georgia Tech. He had a 20-yard touchdown run against Oregon as well, where he captured the edge and ran. He has a lot of 40-yard gainers for a guy who's 220 pounds. I know y'all see that fly. I know y'all. We ain't gonna have a fly problem anytime soon. I don't know about y'all, but I had a father-in-law come over here the other day. I had my father-in-law come over here the other day, and he Miyagi caught a fly in his hand, and then he opened up the door and let the fly go outside. And I was like, "What are we doing? No. You got to bring that boy to the center of town and let everybody know. Whoa! Let everybody know that we just killed that sun gun because we did. You know what I'm saying? You got to let everybody know. Now, all his friends know. Don't you dare go flying in that shot over there. My boy got them paws on him. Can't believe my father-in-law let that man go. Just like, here you go. Here you go, criminal that poops on all of our food. Here you go. I can't believe I just killed that fly. Do we have any more questions? Here we go. Where would you place the sack TFL total for Michael Williams? So defensive ends at Georgia don't get sacks. Let's just let everybody know that right off rip. Defensive ends at Georgia do not get sacks. Say it with me. Defensive ends at Georgia do not get sacks. Faster. Defensive ends at Georgia do not get sacks. They don't. It's a schematical thing. They push the pocket. They do not collapse it. They push it. Okay, they're trying to get pass deflections, balls that are thrown high, cloudy windows to force interceptions. Okay, interceptions far more important than sacks. I know that sounds crazy. Interceptions, ball deflections, far more important than sacks. So, how many will he have? I think he's got a chance to have 8.5, 9 sacks this year just because he's that good. Okay, just because he's that good at block shedding and all that good stuff. But you got to remember that he plays a 4-eye now. Okay, so unless it's an obvious passing down and they let him stand up and get into a wide 7, first, second, and third and short, okay, Michael is in a 4-eye, meaning he is in between the tackle and the guard, and 9 times out of 10, that results in a double team. Okay, double teams do not lead to sacks unless you are Aaron Donald. Okay, so that's important to note. As far as the tackle for losses, same thing. They do not teach darting defense. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, oh, we're all playing defense. There's a whole defensive player darts into it. Okay, why do they not play that? Well, a lot of teams nowadays are zone running football teams. Okay, so they are running on angles and they are waiting for cutback lanes. And if you are a darter, if you dart right into the backfield, yeah, you might get a tackle for loss. But you might have also darted over an entire gap and backside C is wide open now. And we just stick our foot in the ground and we're banging our head on the goalpost. Okay, that kind of stuff happens to these darting football teams. Georgia is not a darting football team. So even at their supremacy, like even when they are the greatest versions of themselves defensively, they will not lead the nation in tackle for losses. Never, ever, ever, ever. What they will lead the nation in is yards allowed per rush, okay? And they will be extremely high in yards allowed per completion. Okay, it will be up at the highest of highs, despite the fact that every football team throws on them in the second half. Okay, every single football team, because they're down. A lot of their football games, Georgia is playing with a massive lead, and the opposition has now removed the run game from their playbook. Okay, and despite that, the last 2 or 3 years, they've been in the top 5, top 10 in passing yards allowed per game. Okay, that's good defense. That's keep everything in front of you defense while also simultaneously forcing 3 and outs. Okay, 3 and outs are turnovers, by the way. They view those as TOs. Okay, I'm getting the ball back after running 3 plays. If I get a 3 and out, that might as well be a turnover, especially when we're playing high-paced offenses, right? I just put your defense back on the field and you ran 18 seconds off the play clock. That might as well be a turnover. You just sacrificed a massive possession in a game where you might only get 10 of them. I think another one came back. Hear me talking that mess. All right, let's see here. Is Raiola a 1-year guy, or do you think he needs a year to develop, or a year one guy? This is a question I don't know the answer to. I haven't seen junior tape. I haven't seen much Arizona high school football. I've seen a lot of Texas high school football. I'm not saying he wasn't playing against good football players, but I know for a fact that when 5 stars, even like Aaron Murray back in the day, there were some growing pains. Like Aaron Murray walked in and started as a true freshman, or a redshirt freshman, but there were still some growing pains there. So I don't know. It's really, really hard to sit there and say, oh, he's going to be a year one guy. I would say no, because Brock Vandagriff will still likely be on the roster, as will Gunnar Stockton. Not that Dylan Raiola doesn't have a chance to beat those guys out, or that there won't be a competition, or, all that good stuff. But we're about, 18 months from that discussion, I would think. So, no, I wouldn't expect my man Dylan to start year one. Okay. UGA is deep and young at outside linebacker, but usually play only one at a time. Any chance one of those young guys bulk up to a defensive end down the line? Gabe Harris comes to mind. There's a possibility, right? There's a possibility that somebody might become like a big end, like we were just talking about. So what they're going to have, first of all, is they're going to have to be 6'5" or more, which you're in the right path right there. That with Gabe Harris. Gabe Harris is a 6'4.5", 6'5" edge rusher type. I don't ever see him being 270 pounds, though. That's what it's required. I think it's sometimes maybe overlooked, maybe not. But Trayvon Walker's 275 pounds, 280 pounds. I don't know. Like, people see him move, and you see what he looks like, and he's like six-packed and chiseled, and a 280-pound man. It's a big-ass dude. All right, so it's Michael Williams. People look at Michael Williams, and you see these long arms, and you see these little ankles and these big, like these not so big calves that are like all the way up his leg that look like they're almost underneath his kneecap. They're so high up his leg because he's so explosive. And you fail to realize that is a 265-pound man. That is a big ass dude, right? So no, I don't know of any of those Sams, right? Those are Sam body types. Like Gabe Harris is a Sam body type right now. He's not even grown into a Jack body type. Okay. Like Nolan did. Nolan got up to almost 250. Okay. Azeez Ojulari played about 246, almost 250. Okay. These are Jack body types, not Sam body types. Okay. Sam body types, Adam Anderson, Gabe Harris, Damon Wilson, Darius Smith. Those are Sam body types that haven't put on the big boy weight to be a Jack body type. Okay. So there's levels to this shit. There's Sam body type to a Jack body type to a DN body type. Okay. How do you only have 11.7 thousand subs? That's crazy. You know what, Ducati Tech? Sometimes I think about this. Like, I know I do good stuff. And I know you guys love it. Like, every time you're here, you're like, damn, dude does good shit. Dude does good shit. Maybe I'm not titling my stuff right. Maybe I'm not telling enough people to subscribe. I don't know, bro. I don't know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. I'm just out here doing it. Okay. I'm just out here working. I'm out here grinding. I'm out here putting it down for y'all. So I hope y'all know that. Y'all know that, obviously. If you're watching tonight, you're not subscribed already, you should. Okay, please do. Who's the last true freshman QB that started and was a dog? Anyone know any team? Is it Stafford? It's Matt Stafford. It's got to be Matt Stafford. Got to be. Right? No. Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm. There you go. After he beat out Eason. Okay, but he didn't start. He kind of like, Eason got hurt and didn't beat him out. He got hurt. So, yeah, it's Fromm. I think that'll do it. I think that'll call it. Did I download? Did I download that here? I don't think I downloaded that here. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I downloaded. I did not. I want to play this Cam Newton trailer while I got everybody here. Okay, while I got everybody here and everybody paying attention and everybody here. I want to give you a little teaser of this content and then send you out. Okay, so I'm gonna play it here in a second. Once I get my files downloaded, because you got to go in here, you got to pull it out, you got to download it. Yes, I agree to your terms of service. Please don't hack me and take all my information. Okay, we are going to do this one. And we are going to play it in 10 seconds for you guys. Okay, this is great pre-production planning, all that good stuff. Okay, shouts out to my man Create with Dre, our primary videographer on this project. Shouts out to my guy Flicks by Joe as well. He was on the secondary camera that was tracking your boy. So the premise of this video, guys, I think I got a great job. I wanted to take you out on a day of work with me. So here we go. At Cam Newton's Memorial Day 7-on-7 event, there are 155 guys in the NFL right now that are on active rosters in 2022 that are from the state of Georgia. Okay, there's a lot of talent that comes out of this state. I don't see a lot of people like Cam out here not just putting their money into football players and kids back into their community and giving it back, but their time as well. I think that'll resonate out here today. You'll notice that Cam's super energetic about what he does. He does not fake this stuff, and he pours back into these kids with everything he's got. Super excited to show you. Let's go knock it out. All right. Hey, for real, go check that out. It's live right now on the channel. Appreciate you guys for being here. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. We'll see you next time. Love you.